Saturn, our tough love dad, is about to retrograde on June 29th, and I don't want you to have to learn the hard way, so let's break it down in today's video as we navigate Saturn's retrograde through the zodiac energy of Pisces, lasting us all the way until November 15th. Welcome back, my Astro family. This, I believe, is my most important video as we are breaking down Saturn's retrograde. Saturn is our disciplinarian, our tough love dad. He is Lord Karma, the enforcer, the taskmaster, and he teaches us some major lessons during his retrograde period. So we're going to navigate all of that in today's video. You're going to get the cheat sheet to his retrograde, being able to learn the lessons as quickly as possible so that you reap the rewards and not the punishment of our tough love dad. So go ahead and grab your birth chart, and if you have your copy of the 2024 Astrology Alchemy Journal, open that up to Saturn's retrograde pages, which is a 2-page spread on page 44 and 45. Remember that our retrograde pages are meant to be filled out 3 separate times. So when you fill out the journal prompts, you're going to fill them out on the day the planet goes retrograde. You're going to go back to those same journal prompts somewhere in the middle of the retrograde, and again when the retrograde is over. This is going to allow you to see the growth and the lessons that you've learned during that planet's retrograde. But for today's video, I'm going to help you navigate that. You may want to take notes. I'm going to give you some dates and degree points that you can look for within your own birth chart. And once we get to the end, I'll be doing the rising sign breakdown as well. Now, there is something we need to understand with Saturn in the zodiac energy of Pisces, and that is his journey doesn't happen overnight. These lessons that we're learning are not one-time events. These are chapters. These are seasons. Saturn is a slow-moving planet, and he has been in the zodiac energy of Pisces since March of 2023. And he will be here all the way until next year when we get to May. So this is about 2.5-year journey of us learning these lessons in the Pisces area of our life. So first and foremost, within your birth chart, I want you to recognize what house does Pisces rule for you. This is the area of life where Saturn, our tough love dad, is teaching you responsibility, is helping you mature, is helping you grow. Let's understand Saturn. Now, if you've been following my content, you're a part of the Astro family, you know that we consider each planet a life coach to us. That makes it personal. We have a relationship with them as they are teaching us in our evolution through our journey here on Earth School. And Saturn, I call him our tough love dad. He is the energy of being disciplined, of being committed, of having responsibility, of being mature, of following the rules and having structure in our life, having order, right? And that is that tough love dad energy. Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? That is Saturn's energy. Each one of us has Saturn within us, and that is a lifelong lesson of challenges and obstacles we have to overcome, and a lifelong lesson of stepping into a specific type of responsibility based on where Saturn falls in your birth chart. But collectively, every 2.5 to 3 years, Saturn enters into a new area of our life, a new zodiac sign, a new house in our birth chart, and he anchors in there for 2.5 to 3 years and says, this is the time where you are going to be forced to grow and mature, forced to look at this area of life and make sure you have a strong and stable foundation, because Saturn will not be back for 30 years. So in the Pisces area of your life, you have not had Saturn there for 30 years. And once he's done through his journey here in 2025 into 2026, he won't be back for another 30 years. So as an energy, Saturn, we call him Lord Karma. Because just like your tough love dad, if you do your homework and you get good grades and you pass the 5th grade, you get to go on vacation in the summer. You get taken out for ice cream, on your final day of school when you get your report card. That is Lord Karma rewarding. But Lord Karma will also punish, right? If you don't do your homework and you don't get good grades, not only do you have to repeat the 5th grade, you have to repeat the lesson, but now you're punished, you're grounded for the summer. That's how this energy shows up. So we better learn the lessons. I don't want you to learn the hard way. I want you to be on board as Saturn is retrograding, going back over some of the things that we should have taken responsibility for, that we should already be committed to, that we should have structure around, and understanding that Saturn is willing to allow you to take your time, right? He is Chronos, the Lord of time. He is willing to be patient and willing to allow you to do things step by step and not overnight. So again, these are lessons that we're learning little by little as we go along this journey. And we're going to break that all down even more specific to Pisces energy and what the collective is learning. But first, let's go into the basics. Saturn will be retrograding from June 29th all the way until November 15th. This is a long period for Saturn's retrograde. It's about 5 months. And he is retrograding from 19 degrees of Pisces back to 12 degrees of Pisces. So look in your birth chart, in the Pisces house, in the Pisces area of your chart, and do you have any planets between 12 and 19 degrees? If you do, Saturn will have crossed that point 3 times. Why do I say 3 times? Back on March 23rd of 2024, Saturn was at 12 degrees. And then he went 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way until he got to 19 degrees, where he decided to retrograde on June 29th. June 29th, he starts retrograding backwards, 19, 18, 17, all the way back to 12 degrees by November 15th. And then he still has to get on track and cross this area of the sky 1/3 and final time. That is your chance to relearn the lesson, to anchor down, to have more structure, more responsibility, be more mature. That's going to happen from November 15th all the way until February 17th. So to reiterate that, Saturn's pre-shadow was from March 23rd until June 29th. I want you to reflect during this time period. What have you taken responsibility for? How have you matured? How have you grown? How have you stepped forward into more commitment or more order or more structure in your life? Where have you escaped, right? We're going to get into what that means in a second, but where have you escaped or self-sabotaged or not stepped into a mature, responsible role? Because that's going to come up. That's the lesson here. We're going to go through this lesson learning period now from June 29th till November 15th, where things are going to get a little easier. Our tough love dad, when he is direct and forward in the sky, we feel the pressure, we feel the responsibility, we feel like we should be doing all these things. But when Saturn retrogrades, our tough love dad backs up in the sky, he's like, okay, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to ask you if you're going to do your homework. I'm going to see if you're going to do your homework on your own. I want to see how mature you are. So I'm not going to ask you. And then let's see if you fail the 5th grade, right? It's that energy. So during Saturn's retrogrades, I tend to find a lot of my clients think life gets easier. They feel like, oh my gosh, I don't feel all this pressure. I don't feel all this commitment. Like, oh my gosh, like this weight is lifted off my shoulder. No, no, no. That is a cosmic test. That is your tough love dad saying, hey, when I back up and you have more free will and you can do whatever you want, are you still going to do the hard things? Are you still willing to overcome the obstacles? Are you still going to have the structure in your life and stay disciplined and stay committed? And then when he comes out of retrograde on November 15th, Lord Karma will reward or will punish. This is when we see the fruits of our labor be rewarded, or we get a smack in the face. Now, depending where Saturn is in your chart, this can have major implications. And we'll get more into that in your rising sign forecast, but I'm going to give you an example. If Pisces is your 6th house of health and wellness, when I do readings for my clients and I tell them, hey, you have Saturn traveling through your health house, you better get your health affairs in order. You better be going to your doctor's appointments. You better be checking in on your nutrition. You better go do your daily walks. You better get your 9 hours of sleep a night, because Saturn is here to teach you lessons, to have a strong foundation here, to have more structure, to be committed to this area of your life and have a foundation that will last you for 30 years. And so when that retrograde is over, if you don't learn that lesson, you might get a really bad health scare. And that is not to scare anyone. It's to say that we have to be mature and responsible adults. We are here on Earth to learn lessons, to mature and to grow. If life was roses and butterflies, we would never expand our soul. And Saturn is here as that disciplinarian to move us forward, right? To help us go to the next level by overcoming obstacles. And so he will throw these challenges our way. He is the planet that's responsible for illness and challenges and hard things in our life, so that we can prove to ourselves that we are strong, that we are capable, that we are willing to do what it takes to reach the level in which our soul signed up to get to, our North Node. And so Saturn retrogrades are very interesting, where we think of this energy of like commitment and discipline and seriousness, but it actually feels a little bit easier, and it's on you to be your own Saturn. Now, something else that's really interesting as we look at this specific Saturn retrograde and the zodiac energy of Pisces happening in 2024 is that this is the final full retrograde in Pisces. And what I mean by that is that next year, when Saturn retrogrades, he's actually going to already have moved into Aries. And when he comes back into Pisces, he is only going to retrograde from 29 degrees back to 25 degrees, where Neptune is retrograding right now during Saturn's retrograde. So this is his final full retrograde in Pisces. We had one last year, which was very much a trial period. And I say that because when we think of Saturn's retrograde last year, Saturn entered into Pisces March 2023 for the first time in 30 years. And he entered at 0 degrees and he migrated his way to 7. Once he got to 7 degrees, he retrograded all the way back to 0, all the way back to the beginning. And so when we got to November of last year, he came out of retrograde back at the beginning, saying, now the lessons start. Now we get going. He came in as a little preview, as a little highlight last year to check in on us, to see how we were doing in this area of our life, to see how structured and disciplined and committed we were, giving us a little grace, and then saying, now the real work begins. So from November of last year until this retrograde began on June 29th, I hope you have worked towards this lesson, creating more structure and discipline in the Pisces area of your life, because this is the final full test. And next year, he'll be all the way on track and move into Aries. Now, zooming out a little bit further, why this is important is because we are preparing for the new eclipse cycle that is happening next year. The new eclipse cycle will change the North Node from Aries and the South Node in Libra to the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. Meaning, next year in January, we are now going to have eclipses with the North Node, fate, destiny, expansion, new beginnings in the Pisces area of our life, where Saturn is right now trying to teach us more discipline, more commitment, more responsibility, more maturity, to have a strong foundation to prepare for the fated and destined experiences coming to us during the North Node Pisces eclipse cycle that is starting next year. And not only that, but we are getting a preview to that eclipse cycle on September 17th. On September 17th, we're going to have a full moon in Pisces. Out of sign eclipse, but nevertheless an eclipse, partial eclipse in Pisces, highlighting and illuminating full moon, what we have to release, what we have to let go in the area of life where Saturn is retrograding, where Neptune is retrograding, where we're having to go back over and anchor down and get committed. And that full moon might illuminate where you haven't done that yet. What's still, unaccomplished, unfulfilled, where more work has to be done. And that could be a very frustrating full moon for us because, and in my client sessions, we've been talking a lot about this. Let me go back to the example of your health house. Let's say since November of last year, you've realized that you need to lose 20 pounds and you need to eat a new diet. You've been doing your walks and you've been doing the things you need to do to be disciplined and committed and learning the lessons around your health and your well-being. Now this Saturn retrograde happens and you start slacking off a little, right? Saturn steps back. You don't feel as committed. So you step back and now the summer is happening and you're having a couple cocktails and you're not getting in your daily walks, but you're still eating healthy and you're still going to your doctor's appointments. That full moon happens in September and it's going to highlight and illuminate the cracks that haven't been addressed yet, right? Maybe you're doing your diet and your supplements and your walks, but maybe that's not enough. Maybe you need to do a parasite cleanse. Maybe you need to get your, root canals cleaned out. Like maybe there's something else. And all of a sudden this like health thing comes up around that full moon and you're like, what the heck? I've been doing the work. I've been committed. Why is this thing happening when I've been working so hard? I don't want you to get frustrated around that full moon in Pisces during this Saturn retrograde if you've been doing the work that we're going to discuss today, especially in your rising sign breakdown, because it's just showing you what else needs to be done before the official eclipse cycle happens so that you can have your dreams turned into your reality. Pisces deals with our dreams. It deals with the higher conscious realms. It deals with everything that is possible. But Saturn is here to help it become a reality, but it cannot be a reality unless we anchor it down and do the work that is necessary. But when we get to April 18th of 2025, that's the day that Saturn officially becomes conjunct to that North Node in Pisces. And so that's going to be a big day for us where if we've done the work, if we've learned the lessons, we could have this beautiful door, this destined and fated event happen in the Pisces area of our life. Now, there's one thing I kind of want to zoom out big picture on before we get into the nitty-gritty details of Saturn and the lessons and Pisces and retrograde and all the other things. I want you to understand that as an energy, Pisces is water and it's the fish. And it's the area of our life in our birth chart that we normally tend to live in la la land in. We don't like to be mature. We don't like to be responsible. We put rose-colored glasses when we look at that area of our life. We tend to escape from that area of life. So let's say, again, it is your health house. You are someone that, like, you know, most of your life with this Pisces area just likes to go with the flow and, you know, I'll eat whatever. It's fine. I have rose-colored glasses on. This bag of chips and McDonald's, that's not going to do anything to my health. Like, you are kind of delusional. You don't have the structure or discipline. Pisces is boundaryless. It is just living in la la land, not coming to terms with reality. So Saturn coming here once every 30 years for only about 2.5 years at a time is an opportunity for us to get disciplined, structure, put things in order, like in an area of life that we don't like to have order in. Saturn doesn't operate super well here, so the lessons aren't super challenging. They come with more empathy. They come with more compassion because Saturn is under the influence of this Pisces energy. I call it the Jesus energy. So it is more empathic and compassionate and forgiving and understanding. But nevertheless, this Pisces area of your birth chart is an area of life for each one of us, whatever it rules for us, that we tend to be a little bit more relaxed about, a little bit more go with the flow. And now we're having to do the hard-ish. We're having to get radically responsible, more mature than ever, and make this a very structured place in our life. Now, the benefit to this is that Pisces is our dreams, what we desire, like larger than life, fantasy land. And Saturn is saying you can have your dreams come true. Literally, you can live on a yacht in the Mediterranean, but are you willing to do the work to make that happen? And so I see this Saturn in Pisces energy, and especially with Neptune here retrograding at the exact same time in Neptune's home sign, this is the energy of manifestation. This truly, truly is. We are in a cosmic cycle, a cosmic energetic alignment of manifestations happening faster than ever and more powerfully than ever. And manifestations can happen in many different ways. Good, bad, positive, negative, higher, lower vibrations, whatever you want to call it. Pisces deals with the ethereal world, the quantum, the unseen spaces, the behind the scenes, your mental health, the thoughts that you think, your emotional frequency, your energetic body, your auras, your chakras, the beliefs, you know, the dreams, the visions, the other timelines that you exist on at this exact moment. Saturn is earth, tangible, grandfather energy. I'm right here. What's in front of me matters, and I'm willing to put the work in. You think of the energy of manifestation. You cannot just lay in bed all day and be like, I'm going to manifest $1 million and I'm just going to lay here. That's Pisces. That's Neptune in Pisces for sure. Saturn is like, I'm going to get my butt out of bed every single day. I don't need to pray. I don't need to think about it. I just need to go to work and make money and work and work and work forever, 50, 60 years. But you manifest something, you put it on a vision board and you start working towards that goal in small, practical, tangible steps while you hold the vision, while you trust, while you have faith, while you see it in front of you as totally being possible and aligning your emotions and your thoughts to that thing while you do the work. That's the energy of manifestation. That is the powerful, potent portal that we have available to us right now with Saturn in Pisces during this season. But you don't want to drop the ball during a Saturn retrograde. You cannot drop the ball. This is where the lesson actually happens. When no one is forcing you to get out of bed and you don't want to go to work today and you don't want to commit to that relationship and you don't feel like it. Pisces is feelings. I don't feel like it. Saturn says during his retrograde, I don't care if you don't feel like it. This is what you have to do. It's hard. It's challenging. There's an obstacle in front of you. I know you don't want to. It's Pisces. But if you do, the reward is absolutely beautiful. So I had to say all that. We had to get that all out. Now let's break it down a little bit more. Understanding Saturn's energy, okay? Saturn is here to help us, and I've mentioned this many times, create boundaries in our lives to help us form more structure, more discipline, more commitment, to be anchored into something, to work on a solid long-term plan, to have this foundation, this willingness to work, even if it takes time, the inner strength to stay the course when there's an obstacle or a limitation or a blockage of some sort? Are you willing to stay the course and keep going? Saturn also deals a lot with like your self-mastery. What are your skills? What are the wisdom that you have? How do you apply what you know? Being your own inner authority, knowing that you know what you know and you are able and capable to do the things you want to do with determination, with drive. You know, Saturn deals with Capricorn energy. It's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. That takes effort and discipline and commitment and flexing a muscle over and over and over again until you've mastered it. And so what happens during his retrograde is you have to ask yourself and you have to prove to yourself that you are willing to stay the course, that you are willing to keep flexing that muscle, that you are willing to be committed to the dream, to the vision, to the goal, to the thing that you want so badly. And it's going to take time with Saturn. Again, he moves so slowly, 30 years to go around the entire zodiac wheel. So we're willing to do it, even when it gets hard. Now, Pisces energy deals a lot with our karma. It's the final energy of all the zodiac signs, right? It's about endings, releasing, purging, clearing karma, letting go, past lives, things that are stuck and stagnant and stored, so we can clear and release and let go for new energy. And so with Saturn traveling through here, this is a lot of us, Lord Karma, clearing the Pisces karma, the old stuck and stagnant energy that's weighing us down, that's holding us down. Because Pisces deals with living in la-la land and fantasy and escapism, this is a big time right now for us to address these problem areas of our life. Drugs, addiction, tendency to gamble, tendency to escape your reality through social media and scrolling and bad habits and limited mindsets. Like, this is such a big time where Pisces rules these things, and Saturn's coming in and saying, no more. It's time to be responsible. You cannot sit in bed all day and scroll. It's not serving you or helping you get to your goal. You cannot sabotage yourself with a glass of wine every single day. This drug does not serve you. This is also an energy of looking at your limiting beliefs, the thoughts that you think, right? Pisces rules the behind the scenes, and it is the energy of manifestation. But what you think is what you manifest. It's what creates your reality. Thoughts become feelings, feelings become things. Like, it all ends up forming and shaping the life that we live in. So what are you thinking in your mind? What are those thought patterns? What are those limiting beliefs? What are those stories? What are those operating systems running in your background? Is it ancestral? Is it trauma related? Is it things unchecked and unbalanced? Saturn's coming in to help you form better structure with these things, better boundaries with these things, stopping yourself from sabotaging yourself. It's going to deal with a lot of emotional healing. I see this cycle from March of 2023 all the way until 2026 with Saturn moving through Pisces, with so many people doing energetic healing, whether that is things like acupuncture and homeopathic medicine, to sound baths and sound ceremonies, energy healing like Reiki, past life trauma clearing, past life regression. Like, people are looking to go into those deeper layers of their life experience and heal and clear and purge and detox. Parasite cleansing is becoming huge right now, right? Because Pisces deals with our higher conscious mind, the other realms, our spiritual practices, our spiritual beliefs. People are getting more into astrology in this season. People are anchoring down Saturn, the structure and the routine we need to have faith. Pisces, to be more in our spiritual practices, to wake up and meditate, to wake up and journal. People are learning to deal with this more than ever, right? Because Pisces is like kind of escapism and la la land. And, oh, you know, I'm spiritual. I go to church once a year. Like, Saturn's like, but are you really? Do you really have faith? Oh, let me throw this obstacle at you. Let me throw this health scare at you. Do you still have faith in something above you? Do you still pray? Do you still meditate? Or do you sabotage yourself and say, well, I'm sick anyways. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing this. These are the lessons. Also, Pisces energy is like, I call it the Jesus energy. This is unconditional love and compassion. This is something we are all learning in society. This is a very collective energy of all of us learning to tap in to our spiritual empathic abilities, our psychic gifts, our ability to feel and intuitively move through experiences that are aligned and right for us, not how the world tells us to be. This is a lot of people learning to have compassion again. The Jesus energy, this Pisces energy, is serving the underserved. the people that, are impoverished, that live in assisted living facilities, that are in jails, that are, struggling in life? Have we lost our ability to empathize and form ways in which to serve them? And this is really what we're seeing collectively. And Saturn's coming in and forcing some of us to take more responsibility for the way in which we treat others, to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more compassionate. This is huge energy. And it's also the energy of forgiveness, learning to forgive yourself and forgive others. Saturn is really teaching us this hard lesson during this season. So during this Saturn retrograde, let's sum it up a little bit. Some of the themes and some of the things that you might have to learn, that we are learning collectively during the retrograde period, that I don't want you to drop the ball on, that I want you to master the lesson to reap the reward from Lord Karma, is first of all, slowing down and removing things that do not serve you. Pisces deals with the energetic body, the emotional body, the mental body. If it does not serve you, if it does not make those areas of your life better, removing it, cleansing it, purging it, detoxing it. Accepting our reality, accepting our truth, accepting that we cannot live in this fantasy land that everything's going to be all right all the time. Sometimes you have to do the hard work. Sometimes you have to be committed. Sometimes you have to cut out meat or dairy or the thing that you love so much and acknowledge and face the truth that it doesn't work for you, it doesn't serve you, and accept and face that harsh reality and stay committed to that. The thing with Saturn in Pisces is behind the scenes. It's foggy, it's hazy, it's, the spiritual realm. You can't quite put your finger on it. Saturn's going to come in and clear that fog, give you a smack in the face reality check of what is true, depending on where Pisces falls in your chart. And maybe you've already started feeling that. And if so, what are you doing about it? That's the question. And are you willing to still do that, even when the pressure is not on, even when the clock's not ticking, even when you don't have a timeline or a deadline or a specific way? Are you still going to stay committed? So there's a lot to this. And then when we kind of look at the collective, what we see in the collective going on during this retrograde and things that might come up, see is like with more people turning to spirituality and Saturn anchoring people's foundations in their spiritual health and their spiritual routines and having faith and having trust and clearing their karma and all those things that Saturn's calling us to do as he moves through the energy of Pisces, is there's been a lot of spiritual people popping up on the scene, fake healers, inauthentic gurus, people that are just in it for the money. These people typically will get revealed during a Saturn retrograde. And now that Neptune is also retrograde in Pisces, the veil is lifted. The fog is cleared. People are seeing things, taking people off of pedestals. Only the true healers, the true gurus, the true people with good intention, with Jesus-like energy that are willing to heal and be of service and do things from their heart with compassion and with empathy will prevail. So you're going to see a lot of people who are in the spiritual game, who aren't in it for the right reasons, to have their little towers crumble. Something big that might happen in the next upcoming 5 months. Also, an energy we're going to feel collectively is karma breaking. Karma breaking in your life, cycles and patterns that you've been living out over and over again, and you haven't had the inner strength to break the pattern and to break the cycle. This is something we can see with this Saturn retrograde energy, where it's like, you got to go back. The cycle is continuing. Do you really want this to go on and on and on and on for the rest of your life? Are you willing to break it? This could be generational trauma, like maybe your grandfather was an alcoholic, then your dad was an alcoholic, and now you're catching yourself being an alcoholic and escaping your reality and not dealing with these self-sabotaging tendencies. And now some obstacle, some limitation, something came up that Saturn threw at you, and you have to do the work and overcome and break this karmic cycle that is ancestral. Maybe the karma is a relationship. You did something to hurt someone, and now it's coming back to bite you in the butt, and you're having to heal this. And you're having to ask for forgiveness, and you're having to forgive yourself. How serious are you in your spirituality and your practice? There might be things coming at you that forces you to really have faith and to have trust and to make sure that you have a dedicated time in your day, in your life, to focus on your spiritual health and your energetic body and your mental health. One of the other things that we can see is like this lifelong lesson that you've had to learn. Maybe it's with money, maybe it's in relationships, one area of your life, maybe specifically the Pisces area of your life, this lesson that it's been going on and on and on your whole life. You finally do the work, you finally get mature, you finally get disciplined, and this lesson is over that you've been cycling through for so long. So I really like this energy. It's super exciting. And what I'm really looking forward to with this whole energy is that collectively there is a need for more compassion, more empathy for one another. And sometimes as the world gets more scary and the energy gets more challenging and people are going through things, we band together. We are there for one another. And I really see this Saturn in Pisces as saying, hey, we all have to be more emotionally mature. We all have to do hard things and we have to do it together, because Pisces is the energy of being empathetic for others, being sensitive to the needs of others, and being willing to be of service to others to make the world a better place. It's the Gandhis, it's the Mother Teresas, it's the Jesus energy, it's that healer energy, that each one of us is a healer in some way. We all have the possibility to help others. So Saturn is like, maybe we need to all take responsibility for that inner healer within us. And maybe you being a healer is just being able to sit with somebody for an afternoon when they really need it. Or maybe it's giving your advice. Or maybe it's giving a resource or something that you are blessed with and you give it to someone else. And maybe it's a, psychic gift. And maybe it's your gift of reading astrology, whatever it is. Being willing to give it and to be of service is a really huge energy. So of course, there's so much more I can talk about with this energy. I will be helping you navigate it day by day as we go through the retrograde, as we move into the Pisces eclipse cycle. I'll be doing that on my Astro Weather Telegram channel. If you don't know what that is, every single day I send a voice memo to our Astro family that has joined us over on Telegram, giving them the cosmic weather update of the day, so you don't have to spend hours and hours listening to YouTube content, watching a bunch of videos, only to forget it all when that actual day comes up. And so that has just been a beautiful way for me to connect deeper with you guys and to help you navigate things on a day-by-day basis. We've also expanded the Astro Weather Telegram channel. It's not just Astro Weather every day. I also do educational content, teaching you how to read and understand your birth chart. I have guest speakers. I give channeled messages. We have a group chat where people of the same rising sign are banding together and talking about their life. We also do full and new moon ceremonies together on Zoom. It is such a beautiful way to connect and to understand and navigate your day using the tool of astrology. You can find all the info to that in the description box below, but just know that this Saturn retrograde is a big lesson learning period for all of us. I don't want you to miss the lesson. I want you to reap the reward. So if you need more guidance or assistance, either in a one-on-one reading or you want to join our Astro family on Telegram, we'd love to have you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me in this little corner of the cosmic internet. Make sure you subscribe, follow along. I love understanding astrology from the perspective of relationships, helping you have better relationships. So some of the content I have up and coming will be very specific to that. But for now, let's hop into the rising sign forecast, helping you understand what lesson Saturn's trying to teach you based on where Pisces is in your birth chart. My Aries risings, Saturn is retrograding through your 12th house. Pisces rules this space for you. This deals with all things behind the scenes. This deals with your energetic body, your emotional body, your mental health, and it's the area of life that we tend to escape from. And this is especially true for you with Pisces ruling the 12th house. It is also the house of our karma and, endings and releasing. And so right now, during this chapter, with Saturn being in this area of your life, and also retrograde, it is time for you to do the healing that is necessary, getting deep in between those spaces that are uncomfortable and clearing the karma, clearing the old traumas, clearing the wounds that have happened to you in your life. Aries risings, Saturn is really telling you it's time to do the work once and for all so that you can heal. This is a great season, especially during Saturn's retrograde, for you to step in. Remember, Saturn's stepping back and asking you to step up and do the healing work required. So we're looking at emotional intelligence work. We're looking at protecting your energetic body, creating boundaries with people, healing your chakras, your aura, getting into spiritual practices, doing more meditation. We're looking at doing some trauma release, somatic therapy, breath work, reading the book, The Body Keeps Score. These are all great tools and resources that you should tap into and dive into during Saturn's retrograde from June 29th all the way until November 15th. Learn these Saturn lessons, do the hard work. Of course, this is going to be uncomfortable. Saturn asks you to be mature and do the things that you don't normally want to do, especially while he's in Pisces, which is the area of life we tend to escape and avoid. You like to avoid, my Aries risings, dealing with mental health issues, dealing with trauma, dealing with the past. You would rather self-sabotage and you would rather escape from the challenging things that you must do especially when it comes to this area of your life. So my Aries risings, you got this. Learn the Saturn lessons so you get the rewards, remembering that next year we are going to have the eclipses in your 12th house and your 6th house. So we have an upcoming major fated and destined healing cycle coming for you. And also, if there are things you need to work on behind the scenes, projects that are important to you, then this would be a great time with the Saturn retrograde to work on them. Are you trying to launch an app, trying to write a book, trying to get a business started, trying to work on a website? Anything that is unseen in those spaces, you have to formulate the discipline and commitment to get them done, Aries risings, with Saturn retrograding through here, and just wait for the reward, wait for the blessings to come as Saturn comes out of retrograde in November. So good luck, Aries risings. You got this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Taurus risings, Saturn is journeying through the energy of Pisces, which rules your 11th house. So since March of 2023 all the way until 2026, Saturn is teaching you lessons, helping you form more structure and commitment and boundaries in your friendship groups, in your communities, in your social circles. It is also the energy of your future, your wishes, your dreams, and your desires. Now, Pisces rules this area of life for you, so you may like to be around friends and community and tribes that are more spiritual, that are more empathetic, that are more compassionate, people that are really easy to get along with. But this may be a time right now where Saturn is coming in and saying, hey, we need more structure and rules and boundaries with our friends. You maybe allow your friends to come over all the time. Maybe you give them unconditional resources or love, meaning every time they call, you pick up the phone, even if you're in the middle of something. Maybe you spend a lot of your money on your friends, especially when they're needing help. You pay for dinner when you go out with them. You are a giver and a lover to your friends. You embody the Jesus-like energy when it comes to your social circle, your 11th house. But Saturn is here right now saying, no more of this. We need structure, we need discipline, we need rules, we need commitment. So it's really important for you, especially during the Saturn retrograde, my Taurus risings, to look at where you need more structure in your friendship groups. Where do you need to implement some boundaries? Where do you maybe need to recommit to certain people that you've lost touch with that are better for you, that help you move towards your future, right? This is a time right now where friends could really be an escapism for you. Like instead of building your business, you're going out on Friday nights to hang out with your friends. It's an escape tactic. So Saturn's like, no more escaping here. No more looking at all your friends with rose-colored glasses on and seeing the best in everyone. It's time to get real. It's time to really look at who is helping me get to the future. Saturn retrograding in your 11th house of your dreams and your wishes. He's helping you tap into the manifestation ability of the dreams that you want to create. You want to get that new car? You want to move to another country? You want to build $1 million business? Saturn is here in your 11th house of your future, helping you anchor down, but you've got to do the work. You got to start putting one foot in front of the other. So how can you recommit to your goals? How can you recommit to your future? Which friends are self-sabotaging you? What friends do you need better boundaries in place with? And maybe where do we need more new structures, new friends, new people that can help you move towards your dreams? So this is a big challenge, learning lessons. There's obstacles around friendships right now. So I'm sending so much love and light, my Taurus risings. I'll catch you in the next video. Gemini risings, Pisces rules your 10th house. So you have Saturn in your career space. You have Saturn working his way all the way from March of 2023 until we move till 2026, teaching you lessons, giving you obstacles, helping you mature and grow and create a stronger and more stable foundation in your career sector, in your reputation, in your legacy, in the title you want to be called, right? This isn't necessarily, you could be a stay-at-home mom. That's your title. You could be, someone who loves to do a certain hobby or volunteer. It doesn't have to necessarily be something that is tied to money or wealth or status. It's something that you're known for, something that you want to be thought of when people think of your name. What is your reputation? Saturn's coming in right now and saying, I know this is an area of life that you kind of like to go in the flow with. You like to kind of see what happens. You're kind of dreamy and optimistic. You go from one job to the next. You kind of wait for your intuition to guide you. You kind of just let it be in flow. You're in a job and all of a sudden someone comes to you and says, hey, I have a better opportunity for you. Then you flow over there. You don't really have goals or structure or these long-term, visions until Saturn shows up. And Saturn's here now. And Saturn is asking you to commit to a career path during this journey. It's going to be 30 years before Saturn gets back. So he wants you to create the strong and stable foundation in your career. What is the reputation? What is the title? What is the legacy? What is the mission? What is the purpose that you're trying to create? But you got to put work in. You got to create the structure around it. We got to create some order. We got to have some sort of routine in order to get to where we want to go in this area of our life. And Saturn is here to benefit you. Now, remember, when he goes retrograde, the goal is to not give up, to not get lazy, to not get back into the flow. If you are wanting a promotion, if you're wanting to change industries, if you're wanting to do something, launch a business, you got to do the work. Saturn's retrograde is going to make you tap back into self-sabotage, tap back into escapism and avoidance, and not having clear boundaries around your career. Saturn is really going to help you form this consistency, build that muscle to do what you need to do every single day for your long-term goals, your long-term dreams, your visions, so you can manifest this area of life to be what you want it to be. Now, remember, we are going to have eclipses, the North Node, fated, destined opportunities coming to you, Gemini Rising, next year in your career sector. But are you doing the work now to be ready for those opportunities? Are you gaining the wisdom? Are you mastering your craft? Are you showing up to work every day consistently? Because if you get that promotion, or you get the new job, or you build that business to $1 million, you got to show up. You got to be ready for it. No more going with the flow. No more sabotaging yourself. Clear set vision, goals, boundaries, and structures is in the cards for you, my Gemini Risings. And if you don't have a dream or a vision when it comes to your career sector, allow yourself to just commit to something you want to be known for. And that could be something you love to do for fun. That is the Saturn retrograde journey for you, my Gemini Risings. I'm going to send you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Cancer Risings, we have Saturn moving through Pisces in your 9th house. Saturn being in the 9th house space brings more commitment, discipline, structure, order to this area of our life. The 9th house deals with our wisdom, our life experiences. Think of it as your bucket list, all the things that you want to do and accomplish. Foreign lands, foreign travel, changing your belief systems, your philosophy, your view on life because you've lived life. This is also about finding a mentor, going back to school, expanding your consciousness in some way. And usually this is an area of life where you kind of lead with faith and hope and optimism. You have this view of the world of kind of this Jesus-like energy. That is you, Cancer Risings, where you just kind of see the best in people. You put these rose-colored glasses on. You have faith it's all going to work out. Like, that's your philosophy. It's Piscean. And that works out for you most of the time until Saturn rolls up and says, no more. We have to have clear boundaries in this area of life. We have to see life through a reality check. Not everyone is going to be worthy of your time. Not everyone is worthy of forgiveness. So this is getting really clear and concise of the way in which you view the world and making a stronger commitment to learning things by getting out there in the world, expanding yourself, expanding your comfort zone, traveling to a new country. This would be a really good time for you to be willing to go on a retreat, to find a mentor, to experience something on your bucket list that can give you more knowledge and wisdom of the life that you want to live. This could be related to a relationship in the sense that you need to see things from your partner's perspective. You need to have more commitment to understanding the people around you. So there's a lot of energy here around your mindset and learning and gaining wisdom, mastering your craft of some sort. And don't forget, as Saturn is retrograde here, those lessons may feel easier. You may kind of go back into self-sabotage. You may go back to just trusting everyone and seeing the best in everyone and just kind of letting life be. This is a time for you to expand your mind. So go on a retreat, go do something on your bucket list, hire a mentor, read a bunch of books, show Saturn that you are disciplined and you are committed to changing your mindset, changing your belief systems, and just gaining a heck of a lot of life experience during this season. And Saturn will reward you when we get to the other side on November 15th. So sending you so much love and light, Cancer Risings. I'll catch you in the next video. Leo Risings, you have Saturn retrograding through the energy of Pisces in your 8th house. This is a really big deal because Saturn coming into Pisces allows us to create more foundation and structure to an area of life that we tend to escape from, an area of life that we kind of go with the flow. We just pray that it all works out. And the 8th house is the area of life where we don't like to go. It is uncomfortable. It's the taboo spaces of our life. We don't talk about these areas of life at a dining room table with strangers. And now Saturn's coming in and saying, no more escaping this. No more just going with the flow. We are coming in and building some structure. So what does this look like from March 2023 all the way until 2026 as Saturn teaches you lessons and creates obstacles in this area of your life? We're dealing with joint finances. We're dealing with your marriage partner's money. We're dealing with debts and loans. We're dealing with inheritances and wills, money invested in the stock market. We're dealing also with people who invest in you, share their resources with you, like your clients or a business partner of sorts. We're also dealing with your sex life, your ability to be vulnerable and intimate with another person, creating depth and layer in relationships. And we're also dealing with healing, subconscious fears, traumas, wounds, things that we don't want to expose. And Saturn's coming in and giving you challenges in these areas, helping you grow, mature, take responsibility. This is a season of life where you're going to have to talk about money with your partner. You may have to work really hard to pay off a loan or a debt. You may have to get real, get a reality check here and go create your will, right? Write out your inheritances, have those tough conversations around death and passing on your legacy to someone else. You may have to go to therapy. You may have to heal some of these fears and wounds and traumas. You may have to have tough conversations as there's obstacles in your sex life and your intimate space with your deepest romantic partners. These are challenges right now that Saturn is helping you mature and grow in this area of your life. And remember, during the retrograde period, this is where the test and the lessons actually begin because he's not going to give you obstacles here. It's like life gets easier. Things just kind of go back to normal. And it's like all these hardships and all these things I was having to do kind of stop. That's when you want to stay committed. So all the things I just mentioned, I want you to make sure that you check these things off your list because Saturn is growing you in this area. He wants you to have a strong, stable foundation by doing the things that you need to do in this area of your life so that it's stable for the next 30 years until he comes back again to your 8th house spaces. So no more self-sabotaging, no more escaping, no more playing victim. The world is not against you. You are going to take your power back. You are going to handle your money. You're going to have tough conversations with people. You are going to heal yourself in some sort of way. And you're going to focus on this 8th house area of life and be mature, disciplined, consistent, responsible. And Saturn will reward you when we get to the end of the retrograde in November on the 5th. So good luck, my Leo risings. I'll catch you in the next video. Virgo risings, Saturn, as he retrogrades in the energy of Pisces, is retrograding through your relationship house. Now, this is important to understand because your relationships are based off the energy of Pisces, meaning you like to be in partnership with people that are easy to love, that are maybe the underdogs. You really pick people that want to be rescued, that want to be saved. You want to help those. You give a lot of yourself. You want empathy and compassion. You are the eternal forgiver, letting people off the hook over and over again. You see the best in people. You can be with a partner and you have rose-colored glasses on. But now Saturn is here since March of 2023 and all the way until 2026. And he's saying, no more of that. We need to set clear boundaries in our relationships. We cannot be treated this way anymore. We need to have tough conversations. We maybe need to recommit to people and look at our life with certain relationships. This could be romantic, business partners, friendships, anyone that you have a bond with, that you form a we with. Saturn is here right now saying, are we still committed to this person? Are they benefiting us in the long term? Maybe we need to take those rose-colored glasses off and get with the program, get real, have these tough conversations. It's okay to see someone in a favorable light, but like enough is enough. This is also a type of energy where you like to escape into your relationships. When life gets hard, you kind of go goo goo gaga over your partner. You see them as like a sanctuary, and maybe that isn't healthy for you. Maybe you need to have other tools and resources to heal yourself emotionally and spiritually. So maybe it's time for you to get into other spiritual practices and not let your relationships be your saving grace. Saturn is throwing you obstacles and lessons that have to be addressed in the relationships in your life. This could be very challenging. Remember, during his retrograde period is when the lessons actually begin. And so all of a sudden, it's like you're fighting in your relationships. There's a bunch of insecurities and challenges that have been presenting. And now he goes retrograde, and it's kind of like, okay, things are better. I don't have to worry about my relationship. I don't have to work. We don't have to go to couples therapy anymore. Everything is working itself out, right? We don't have to have the monthly meetings with my business partner. Like, we're good. Saturn is testing you right now to stay committed, to stay mature, to stay disciplined to the relationships and do the hard work it's going to require for you to have them and hold on to them for a long time so that there is a strong and solid foundation that you can carry forward with you over the next 30 years. Do not get complacent in your relationships, my Virgo risings. This is going to be very important. Keep doing the work, being consistent, and building the strength that you need within these relationships so that you are rewarded by Lord Karma on November 15th when he comes out of retrograde, because if we don't do these things, you will have to overcome a lesson, a repeated karmic lesson. Also, understanding that Pisces is the energy of karma. So you hold a lot of your karma in relationships. And this could be a time right now where you are breaking that karmic pattern, the toxic loops, the cycles over and over again that you repeat in one relationship to the next. Saturn could be helping you break that right now. So if that is the case and things are feeling icky and sticky and more challenging than ever, understand it's because Saturn's here and there's a lesson to be learned. So go through the healing process necessary. Forgive yourself, forgive the other person, find compassion and empathy and forgiveness for you, and you will do just fine. So good luck, my Virgo risings. I know this one's not easy for you. So sending you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Libra risings, Saturn retrograding in Pisces is happening in your 6th house. So if you watch the rest of my video, I used you as an example when I talked about Saturn entering our 6th house is the time where we learn our hardest lessons. We are faced with obstacles and challenges around our health and wellness. And so this is a time as Saturn comes into the Pisces area of your life where we are typically Pisces, avoiding, self-sabotaging, going with the flow, putting rose-colored glasses on. You do all of that when it comes to your health and wellness and daily habits and routines. You think that you can just eat whatever you want and you'll always stay healthy. You don't think you need to go to the doctor. Nothing's wrong with you. Saturn rolls up once every 30 years into your health house. And he comes in like a tough love dad and says, what's the foundation like here? How we doing here? And what lessons do I have to teach you to help you mature and grow, take more responsibility, be more disciplined, and be more committed? So this is a season for you from March of 2023 all the way until we get to 2026 for you to have an opportunity to get your health house in order. Create that strong foundation, get on a supplement routine, change your diet, get to working out, hire trainers, personal assistants, find your medical team, chiropractors, acupuncturists, your primary care doctor, whomever you need to see that is going to help you get on track with your health, wellness, and vitality. You may have gotten some health scares since Saturn has entered this area of your life, my Libra risings, but I want you to understand that this is a chance as we go retrograde and it seems like your health is getting better and it seems like things are improving and they don't need much commitment. You've been working really hard. To not lose track, to not lose focus. Looking also at your work-life balance. Where have you been overdoing it? Where do you need to continue to find balance, boundaries, structures, a system of being organized, a routine of wellness that you can carry forward in the next 30 years of your life? This is going to be a very important energy for you, my Libra rising, especially as Saturn's retrograde. You do not want him to punish you as Lord Karma comes out of retrograde, that you haven't learned the lesson around your health, because this is where we can have a little bit of a health scare. Also, don't forget at that full moon in Pisces on September 17th, that might be a day that highlights and illuminates some cracks in the foundation of your health that you have not yet addressed. Do not let that scare you. It's just showing you what else you need to do. You have not done anything wrong. You have not done enough. It's just helping you move forward so that you can get the blessings of Saturn after his retrograde. So good luck, my Libra rising. Sending you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Scorpio risings, you have Saturn retrograding in Pisces in your 5th house. This is a season right now where you are learning to have boundaries, to be recommitted to taking more time and effort and energy towards what brings you joy. How do you have fun? Where do you not have time and places and spaces for creative projects, for hobbies, for entertainment, for games, for going to concerts, for going to music events? Where are you not nourishing your inner child? Saturn is showing up here now to this area of life that you kind of just go with the flow and you kind of escape from, and you're like, I don't need hobbies. Oh, I'm not super creative. And then especially in your romantic life, this is an area of life where you kind of date and you go with the flow and you don't have boundaries. My Scorpio risings, when you start dating someone, you let them in right away. You forgive them off the bat. They might do something that upsets you, and instead of setting clear, concise boundaries, you see the best in them. You put them on a pedestal. So right now, Saturn's coming in and is like, no more of that. No more of that. If we are dating someone, if we are getting to know someone, boundaries, structure, making sure that our needs are met. In our creative projects, maybe there's something you've wanted to create for a really long time and you've just kind of had your head in the clouds and it's just been a dream. Saturn's coming in right now for you, Scorpio rising, and saying, let's do the work. Let's anchor this down. Let's manifest it into reality by physically, tangibly committing to the thing and mastering our craft. It's also a time for you to have more fun, especially as Saturn is retrograde. When Saturn is retrograde, the lessons begin and you have to step up and be your own tough love dad and say, hey, I'm committing to doing this hobby every single week. Maybe I don't know what I like to do, so now I need to go around and explore and try new things on because I need to have a strong foundation of my life that's not just work, that's not just relationships, that's not just family, that also involves fun. So figuring out what you like to do for fun is such a big part of this journey. Do not miss this lesson. Also, because Pisces rules the spiritual realm, you may like to have fun through spiritual retreats, spiritual healing, getting together with other healers, doing breath work and sound bath ceremonies and meditation. So this is a great season for you to stay committed to those things because they do bring you joy and they do bring you fun, and tap into your inner child. Inner child healing. This is also a time with Pisces ruling your karma that a lot of your karma is tied to your inner child, things that happen to you in childhood. The fifth house also deals with children, so your children may carry your karma, right? Like maybe you were a brat when you were a kid and now your child treats you the same way that you treated your parents. And so Saturn is coming in to help you learn these lessons that you need to learn to heal your own inner child, to help heal your children, to break the karmic cycle, the karmic pattern. Maybe in your family lineage, you know, your grandpa was an alcoholic, your dad was an alcoholic, and now you embody a lot of these behaviors and you don't want to pass this karmic cycle along to your children. So instead of escaping and self-sabotaging, you step into your Saturn mature energy and you say no more of this because this will be imprinted on my child. So this is a lesson you may have to learn as well for some Scorpio risings, but this, you know, will be a pattern in a season where hopefully when Saturn is done with his journey in your fifth house of fun, you will have a foundation of a hobby that you love, you tap back into your creative passion projects, you've launched something out into the world that you want to be seen, you've birthed something. If you want to get pregnant, this is also a season where maybe you need to do some healing, some energetic healing, some behind the scenes healing, some mental healing, some lineage, past life healing that you don't want to pass along in your DNA to your children. Saturn does not favor pregnancy. Usually it's a lot of hard work and discipline to get pregnant when Saturn's in your fifth house. So for my Scorpio risings that really want to have children, there's some work that you need to do right now. It has to relate to your healing, your energetic, your mental, and your emotional body, and tapping back more into prayer and meditation. And this retrograde period may be a time where you really have to move into that energy to get the reward of pregnancy when Saturn is here up until 2026. So my Scorpio rising, sending you so much love and light as you navigate this season. I'll catch you in the next video. Sagittarius risings, Saturn retrograding in Pisces is moving through your fourth house. Ever since March of 2023 and all the way until we move into 2026, you are having Lord Karma helping you take responsibility, create stronger foundations in your fourth house of home and family. When Saturn's in this area of your life, you may need to be more responsible, more committed, more disciplined with your family. You may need to create boundaries with your family. This could be boundaries with your parents, boundaries with your siblings, boundaries within your own family, with your children, your significant others, your roommates, the people that you live with. Within your home, there needs to be more structure and order and understanding. Also, when it comes to your fourth house, this is really about property and real estate, what you consider your safe space, your sanctuary. As Saturn is traveling through this area of your life during this season, you may need to take on more commitment and discipline in your home. There might need to be some renovations that have to get done. Maybe you've been escaping and avoiding some of those regular, projects that need to be updated, like a new roof or a new AC. And now's the time where Saturn is teaching you lessons by throwing obstacles like your AC goes out and your roof starts leaking and all these things that you've needed to do, But you have Pisces, my Sagittarius risings in your fourth house, so you tend to escape, live in la la land, be a dreamer about this area of your life, go with the flow. You're very passive. Unless you're forced into it, you're not going to do all these home projects or move homes or sell your home. It's almost like Saturn's coming in. It's like, we got to do the work. Got to be disciplined. Like, what's going on here? Same thing with your family. You can be very much a giver, the Jesus-like energy with your family, self-sacrificing, giving up everything for other people. And now it's time to put some boundaries in. Saturn is giving you some strength here and maturing you and creating a strong foundation. Now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home during this season, there is usually some work or some obstacles you have to overcome. But the good news is that after this season is over and Saturn leaves your fourth house of home and family, you will typically have a strong foundation in your home life that you will not have to adjust and change for 30 years. I just went through this cycle and it was really hellish for me with Saturn in the fourth house. We were building a home. It was during COVID. There were so many things going on. Our house did not get built in time. It took 17 months instead of the 6 they promised us. We had to move 7 times. Even when we moved in, there was mold and we had to renovate our entire kitchen within a year of living in it. We built a pool. It shattered the windows. Like, things went on and on and on. And when Saturn left my fourth house of home, our house now has every crack fixed. It is a strong, solid foundation. We have everything we need, and we probably don't need to do much for another 30 years. So this is a great time for renovating or building a home or moving homes or starting a new project related to property or real estate. But just know there are some obstacles to overcome. At the retrograde period may make it feel like issues with your family and responsibility you have to take with your family, and these challenges that you have to deal with your home get easier. And it's like, oh, I did the work. I cleaned out the AC vent. All is well. And then your AC goes out at that full moon in Pisces, illuminating and highlighting the work you have not done yet. You didn't get down to the deeper foundation. You weren't committed and responsible. You just did a surface level thing. And now the hard lesson may come in. So just pay attention around that Pisces full moon. What cracks still have to be fixed in this area of your life, and you'll be all good. I want you to learn these lessons, my Sagittarius risings, as you move through Saturn's retrograde, and you will be rewarded once we get to November 15th and the retrograde is over. Also know that if you're wanting to move homes and we get to the new eclipse cycle with the North Node moving into this area of your life, there are fated and destined opportunities for you to buy a new home, to move homes, to renovate your home, new family members come in. And so right now we're doing the work to be prepared for the opportunities to come during the next eclipse cycle. So go do the work, my Sagittarius risings, sending you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. My Capricorn risings, you are ruled by Saturn, so you know how to be responsible and mature and do the hard work. But during his retrograde in your third house, this is a time for you to stay committed, even though life seems to be easier and breezier. Remembering as Saturn is retrograding through the energy of Pisces, Pisces rules your third house. So we are looking at your mental health, your communication habits, your social network, your siblings, and your ability to move and groove, your transportation modalities, your technology. So Saturn is coming into this area of life that you kind of go with the flow and you have these rose-colored glasses on and you see the best in everything. But maybe now with Saturn showing up here, your ruling planet, you're having to anchor down, become more committed, more disciplined to your mental health, the thoughts that you're thinking. Remember, thoughts become things. So it's a time where Saturn's coming in and is like, listen, I know you always wear rose-colored glasses and you see the best in things, but maybe it's time to get real. Maybe it's time to think thoughts and recognize how important they are. The words that you're using, the language that you're speaking. Maybe it's time to be more direct. Maybe it's time to put boundaries in place. Maybe it's time for you to work on your communication habits, to learn new skills around being a public speaker and sharing things with other people. It's going to be a big season as well with Saturn here, helping you form stronger commitments and stronger boundaries with your siblings if you've fallen out of touch with them. There might be some obstacles or challenges that come up around your siblings during this period, but it's here to help you recommit to them, to get through the tough challenges, to weather the storm with them so that you can create this stronger foundation, this bond that will carry you forward for the next 30 years. Also, because your third house rules transportation and technology, there may be some obstacles that come up around these areas of life that you need to be more mature and responsible around. This could be like not having a case on your phone or a screen protector and you shatter this really expensive iPhone that you have, and Saturn's teaching you a lesson that you need to be more mature and not just be all in the clouds and oh, everything's going to be all right, right? Super optimistic. Like, get real. Things can break and you have to protect them and make sure there's order and structure around them. Same thing with a vehicle. Maybe this is a time where you've been needing a new vehicle and Saturn's coming in and yours is breaking down, and it's time to get committed to purchasing a new vehicle. And that's an obstacle and a challenge that you have to overcome, but it's time to mature and level up and do the things that you need to do that will last you for the next chapter of your life. Now, remember, the retrograde period is where things kind of get easier and you don't feel as pressured to reach out to your siblings or get that new car. You'll just wait, or maybe also there is something you need to share or communicate or express or speak, or a boundary that you need to put into place, especially within your social networks or your neighbors. And you're like, it's not a big deal. You go back to the Pisces energy where you just kind of be, rose-colored glasses and all is well, and I don't want to handle it. It's too uncomfortable. No, it's time to handle it. Do not let Saturn's retrograde get the best of you. Go have the tough conversations, go create more boundaries and structure in your life. And please, please pay attention to your negative self-talk. The words that you're thinking make a huge impact during Saturn's retrograde. We want Lord Karma to bless you with positive thoughts, with all your manifestations and all the things that you've been thinking during his retrograde period. We want the good things to become true. So think good thoughts, my Capricorn risings, and you will reap the reward at the end of the retrograde. So sending you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Aquarius risings, Saturn is retrograding through your second house. This is a very pivotal and important time for you, as Saturn is one of your primary life coaches. And as he's traveling through your second house of money, of finances, it's time for you to get serious about your money. You traditionally have Pisces, the fish, the go with the flow, the escape from this area of your life. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. Head in the sand, head in the clouds, rose-colored glasses. Money will come and it'll go. And I'm just optimistic. I don't want to deal with it. It's uncomfortable. And maybe you have a lot of karmic patterns or habits that are self-sabotaging you in this area of your life, that you don't have a control over your budget. You don't even know what money is coming in or what money is going out. Maybe you have this escapism tendency where you want to buy things all the time to feel better. Now, Saturn is rolling up from March of 2023 all the way until 2026. That's saying no more of this. I'm only going to be here for 2.5 years, but let's get our act together. Let's create structure and order and boundaries. Let's make sure that our money is on our mind is on our money. We know our budget. We know what we're spending our money on. We know how much money is coming in. Maybe we need to create more committed energy towards another stream of income. Maybe we need to be more disciplined and put more of our energy and attention and focus on creating another stream of income. Maybe we need to sell some material possessions that no longer serve us and get some money for them. These are all important things for you, Aquarius risings, as Saturn is spending this unique short amount of time in your money sector. Now, when the retrograde period begins from June 29th all the way till November 15th, Aquarius risings, you may feel like putting your head back in the sand. Oh, I did the hard work. I checked in on my budget. I can now go shopping again. I just made a bunch of money because I've been disciplined and committed, and I got a second job, and look at my bank account. It's really going up. So now I can go splurge and I can go back to my old habits and my old behaviors. Do not let this Saturn retrograde get the best of you. Continue forward on your path and all that you've been working with, so that you reap the reward when Lord Karma comes out of retrograde when we get to November. So the money keeps rolling in and your budget stays tight and the savings account keeps going up, instead of having to learn this lesson again, of letting this karmic pattern play out over and over again into the future. We're breaking it now. Now, there may need to be some healing, some mindset healing, some energetic healing that needs to happen that is blocking you from reaching new money potential. And that's something that may be required of you during the Saturn retrograde as well. And also pay attention around that full moon in Pisces on September 17th that may highlight and illuminate some cracks that are still happening with your money area of life, that may illuminate a huge debt or bill or something that kind of lands on your doorstep and you're like, oh my God, freaking out. It's just showing you what also you don't have control over yet with your money and where you need to get recommitted and refocused. It's just a little correction point so you can continue on through the rest of Saturn's retrograde. So just pay attention around that time. Aquarius risings, good luck. I hope you reap the biggest blessing and the biggest reward from Lord Karma by doing the hard work in the second house area of your life. And I'll catch you in the next video. Pisces risings, this Saturn retrograde is activating and teaching you lessons about yourself, as Pisces is, of course, your first house. So we are focusing on you. As Saturn has entered into this area of your life from March of 2023 all the way through 2026, you're going to have to learn to focus on yourself, creating those personal boundaries, working on your energetic health, your emotional health, working on your identity, how you want to be seen in the world. This is an opportunity to ground down and be committed to yourself once and for all. As you have Pisces as your ruling energy, as your rising sign, you tend to be someone that gives off this energy of Jesus-like vibes. You are compassionate, you're empathetic, you have no boundaries, you're willing to do anything for everyone, you serve other people, you are willing to give, you forgive very easily. And now Saturn's coming in and is like, that's great and all, but maybe we need to have some structure around that. Maybe we need to have some boundaries around that. We can't always give up. We can't always sabotage ourselves. It's time for us to do the work that we need to do around ourselves. The first house is your physical body, your physical vessel, the vehicle that your soul was born into. And maybe this needs some commitment from you. You need to be more disciplined and structured around your physical health, the way that you look, the way that you dress, the way that you appear. Maybe it's time for you to care about your hair and your skin and your body and refocusing in on that instead of focusing in on everybody else. It's a big learning season for you, and also about how your energy that you give off, your avatar, if you will, impacts the people in your life. It impacts how people react and respond to you. If you color your hair purple, it's going to give off a certain vibe. That's just how it is, right? You don't like to think of it this way because you are such a compassionate, understanding person to other people that you would never think that someone would judge you. But this is Saturn coming in and being like, be real, be real. If you have tattoos and you have purple hair and you have this, like, unfortunately, people are going to see you a certain way. And maybe you want to be seen that way. You want to be seen as edgy. You want to be seen as a rebel. That's amazing. That's great. However you want to be seen, Saturn is saying, take responsibility for that. Take ownership that this is what it is and that you are giving off a reflection, a personality, an avatar of how you want to be seen in this world. Where do you need to recommit to that and take acceptance for that? Work on your body, work on your healing, focus on you, focus on your goals, focus on your needs, focus on your wants. Saturn is coming in to give you the strength, give you the energy, set the boundaries, commit to you. And just remember, during his retrograde, from June 29th until November 15th, it may seem like you can easily slip back, where you're like, oh, you know what? I've been doing this. I cut my hair. I changed my wardrobe. I've been working on my body. I've been doing all the things for me. And now I'm like, I'm good. I'm done. The work is over. It can feel like the work is over, but there's more work to be done. This is supposed to become your new normal, a new foundation for who you are. Do you need to still change your social media profiles? Do you need to change the way in which you communicate with people? Do you need to maybe change some of the relationships in your life that judge you for who you are and how you choose to show up in the world? Maybe there's some course correcting that you need to do around something that you desire, and you need to start working harder towards it. Don't let go of the energy and attention you're meant to give to yourself during the Saturn retrograde, and you will be rewarded immensely by Lord Karma. When we get to November 15th, you will have a glow up season. You'll be magnetic. People will be there for you. They will see your true, authentic version, expression of yourself. Just put in the work to you for a little while longer, my Pisces risings. So sending you so much love and light, and I will catch you in the next video.